Hello and welcome to another round of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship in Live for Speed. Tonight it's round 10, Aston Cadet Reversed with another mod. So let's get straight into it, shall we? And see what is in store for you guys tonight. Looking at the calendar, first of all, we are 10 rounds in after tonight with 2 rounds left before the end of the 2025 campaign. So yeah, this is the last road race of the year before we head to dirt next month and slicks for the final time this year in round 12 on December 1st. That is getting closer, isn't it? So yeah, the title championship race is on, and we're going to see who can bag a few more points tonight as the year draws to a close. I can't believe I'm saying that. Let's see the stadium for which tonight's action is going to take place. It's going to take place at Aston Cadet Reversed, a track we've not seen for a little while, but it's a fantastic track. It's got lots of character, this place, lots of hairpins. It's got the uphill corkscrew and a few nice straights to boot. 1.9 kilometers, 1.1, nice and short, nice and quick action coming your way tonight. The drivers have had 45 minutes of qualifying. We are going to go through the results of that in just a couple of minutes' time, as well as a 32-lap race, which we expect to take around about 30 minutes in the car in its current spec. And speaking of the car, let's have a look, shall we? The XF Garris, which is based on the XFG in Live for Speed. It is a tweak modification with a 1.6 litre inline-3 all-wheel drive configuration, weighing in at 1,280 kilograms, so pretty heavy, and it has 257 brake horsepower, so pretty punchy. This is a mod by Vano Paniashvili, so thank you to them for providing this for today's action. Yeah, let's have a look then, shall we, at the all-important championship standings and see how all of that lot is shaping up as we head through to the main action today. Of course, that 32-lap race, which is coming up in just a few seconds' time. It's Themely leading the way with 132 points, 39 points clear of Unite. Then we've got Sufor, Roni, and then it is Motta Macari, Majesta, Lorenzo, Magic Michael, and Kirill, your top 10. T-Bug, Mouseman, Twincam, Dodislav, Nozzle, Johnny SVK, Lagutz, Rid, Asker, and Hamster, your top 20. And I'll see the other pages sort of swing by as we see that the championship this year has been well contested by a large number of entrants, which is great to see, of course, as I'm sure you would come to expect from a Live for Speed pickup series. Lots of people trying their hand throughout the year. 47 drivers registering at least 1 point in the championship so far in 2025, with 3 rounds to go. Speaking of, it looks like we do have a pretty decent turnout for tonight's event, so let's take a look, shall we, at how people have stacked up in the qualifying session, which has just concluded in the background. It's Lugutskas for Yes Motorsport on the pole position with Unite, Sufor, Famuli, Hashiroku, Redbot, Motomikari, Roni, Hernandez and Magic finishing out the top 10. Cried there in P11 with Zlatanov, Majesta, Lot, Skyaffair, Shamal, M. Greason, Victolo, Zlatanov and Hollander. Seemingly we have a decent turnout indeed. Let's have a look at the second page with just one name for now. Acosta is the 21st driver to have qualified for tonight's event. So yeah, that is a fascinating, sort of tantalizing prospect. 21 cars around this tight and twisty track, and we are due to get going any second now for the start of our racing action today. All right then, yes, the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship is back, and before we get live, before we go live, I should make a quick announcement to the world that there is a Retro Cup test race happening straight after this event, and we'll talk more about that as we get through tonight's action. Let's head to the track and get this show on the road. Here we are then, the drivers all lined up for the start of the race. The lights are on and we are green for 32 laps, and it's a bad start there for Thamuli, and he's already dropping down the order. That's a terrible start for the championship leader, as he doesn't want anything to go wrong towards the end of the year, and it's already down to 6th or 7th place there in the background, as we've also got Sufor going wide at turn 1. He's already lost out to Unite and potentially to Hachiroku as they head towards the corkscrew here. And up we go, and Unite does take the place. Sorry, Sufor does take the place back as he heads up the corkscrew for the first time. Lugutskas with a good lead already, and that will be something he'll want to keep because he's got Unite hot on his tail. Further down the order, it looks like we've got quite a bit of action with Thamuli trying to recover, but he's been overtaken by his teammate already in this race, so not going as smoothly as he would have wanted immediately, so not ideal for him. He is on Twitch, however, if you want to check out his onboard feed. He is broadcasting that live to the world at Thamuli_. But as we go through onto lap 2, there you can see Unite is closing in, as he has been over the course of the first lap. That was a frantic start, a few drivers losing out, a few drivers gaining as a result, as Redbot now is defending from Thamuli, and there's more contact as we head up onto the top of the corkscrew. Redbot swings back across the track, and Thamuli's rejoining as well. Goes around the outside of Roni, but Roni manages to hold on for now. Thamuli is going to try and go around the outside again into the first of the apexes here, decides better of it, and now Magic is up the inside of Redbot, pushes Redbot wide, and Majesta now fancies going through in the bright orange machine. Oh, but he's gone wide onto the gravel. That is not the optimal line there for Majesta, as he loses 3, 4, almost 5 places, and he's back off onto the grass. That will be 5 places lost by the time they arrive down into turn number 1. Right on board with Lugutskas as he heads through to the this sort of chicane. It's sort of a chicane. It's more of a chicane immediately into a hairpin, but he is having a good ride out front at the moment. He's over a second, almost over a second ahead of Unite already, who is being hassled by Sufor, who has the fastest lap as it currently stands. But how much longer will that be for? As we've got Redbot in the background in a bit of a battle up to the final corner with Zlatanov. Zlatanov in the first black and yellow car you can see on your screen, going side by side. And that is Lot just behind in another black and yellow machine, as these two scrap it out down to turn 1 to begin lap 4. Lot on the outside, Zlatanov to the inside, forcing there Redbot to sort of bounce off him, and he's not happy. He's on the horn, and he's about to be overtaken potentially by Victolo on the inside there. which will become the outside at the top of the corkscrew. Oh, it's a huge scrap this. Twin Cam alongside him. Victolo there. Oh, actually, Twin Cam makes up 2 places there. Loses one of them. It's potentially going to lose the other one immediately to Redbot again here. But this is a great fight for P10, I think, essentially, with Zlatanov leading the way. Twin Cam in the blue, Redbot in the green and black, Majesta now in the orange. As I'll have to switch away, we've got Unite going for a move potentially for P2 overall. Frantic action at the back, but absolutely need to keep our attention at the front as well, as it's all going off. That looks like it's neutralised itself for now. So Majesta has just got past Redbot. Twin Cam's going for a send on Lote into the first corner. He's through. Oh, Majesta's gone into the back of Lote, and it's all going off. Redbot needs to check his mirrors before he moves back across. Almost gets taken out on the front of Lote's car, as it's 6 cars up the corkscrew all together there, and Twin Cam takes over the lead of this pack. The Moolies just made up a place off camera on Mortimer Carey, as we have to switch back to this action as they all come into the final corner. This is basically now a battle for penultimate position in the race, if you can believe it. These folks all scrapping it out for the same piece of tarmac, and it's Victolo now leading as Twin Cam disappears a little bit up the road ahead. But Victolo is now defending from Cried, who is also now in a fight with Lote. It's quite a lot to keep track of. But good battles nonetheless. As there we go, bumping door to door. That's Lote and Cried. And Lote takes back P14, or in fact P13 now on the road. As they all go into some sort of single file. No, that's not going to be for much longer, is it? We've got Cried up the inside, and there's contact. Lote has been spun out. He's going to rejoin in front of Redbot there. So there is further contact. Hernandez was looking like he was going to make a move on Hachiroku, but went wide and couldn't make the pass for P4. As Legutkas heads on to lap 7, now has the fastest lap himself. 2-4 P2, Unite there in 3rd. And here is that battle with Hachiroku and Hernandez, which could turn into something pretty shortly. Hachiroku comfortable at the moment as they head up the corkscrew for the 7th time. Oh, but that's a good line through there from Hernandez, who's going to go for the move in this sort of double apex right-hander, and he's through. Nice clean pass. Hachiroku is not going to get him back on the exit either, so up to P4 for Hernandez there. Great stuff at the front. But here we go. Here is the fight then for P7. It's Mortimer Carey, who was passed by his teammate Thamuli. He's now lost out to Roni as well, and has found himself in a race green sandwich. We're on board with Magic for race green, who fancies a pass as well. Oh, a bit of a lock-up on the front axle there for Magic as he tries to get it slowed down on the downhill section for turn 1. Mortimer Carey making the most of the fact that Roni is driving a somewhat unconventional line through the corkscrew, giving up the inside quite easily. But Mortimer Carey has made an error on the exit there, and that's going to allow Magic to slip up the inside. And, well, it's not the easiest of passes, but he is through. Runs a bit wide. Mortimer Carey may have a second chance here, maintaining this position. But it's not going to happen today, is it? He is gone, and Magic is through and up into P8. By-side action here between Twin Cam and Zlatanov as we head down to turn 1. Twin Cam on the inside defends the P9, or in fact P10, my mistake, as he takes the corner. Would you say that Looks like we've got that fight back for P2, and it may already have gone over. In fact, it may already be over, sorry, as Unite goes up into P2 ahead of Sufor. Not sure what happened, but Sufor lost a lot of time. He was quite away in the lead as he comes mysteriously into pit lane. Sufor's left front tyre is dead, and that's going to require a change, which is definitely an unscheduled stop. We are not expecting pit stops in this race, and that is big bad news for Sufor, who will find himself tumbling down the order as he just replaces those front tyres. Sorry, all tyres going off that car. As we switch back to Lagutskis, who leads now with a 4.5 second lead over Unite. It's Hernandez who finds himself up into P3. Hachiroku P4. And Samuli now in P5. He's looking comfortable. But can he close the gap to Hachiroku? He had that terrible start, if you remember. Didn't get traction off the line. Dropped back quite a number of places. Found himself outside the top 10. And has had to fight his way back up to 5th. As in the background, Twin Cam is having quite an evening of it, with Monty McCarry now finding himself ahead of this bunch and trying not to be overtaken. Monty McCarry has lost a lot of time and has been caught quite quickly. And now Zlatanov and Twin Cam sort of have to battle their way around him down towards the first corner. Twin Cam up the inside, Monty McCarry leaving the door very wide open. And we'll see Zlatanov zip through as well. Well, he's going to try for a side-by-side through this corkscrew, but that's just not going to work. Vic Tolo also in the pits for tyres. So tyres seemingly a big challenge tonight for the drivers. Not something I'd had on my radar, as Sky Effet retires from the race. 2-4 has gone off with his brand new tyres and also retires. So two drivers finding it too difficult to muscle essentially what is an XFG around Aston Cadet, which is definitely not something I expected to say. Very unusual to find that much trouble after 10 laps or so. But there we go. Unite is now almost 6 seconds behind our race leader. Lagutskis is flying out front as Mad Jester now finds himself still trying to get past. In fact, no, he is also now just caught up to Monty McCarry, and he is going to try and go through. Monty McCarry is going backwards in this race, not the performance we're used to seeing. But Mad Jester is trying to get through. Monty McCarry is struggling with his tyres as well, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the other drivers out there. As Hachiroku has now, well, what's he done? He's managed to get back through on Hernandez, which is, again, what is that to do with? I think everybody is struggling with their tyres. Hernandez's front left is absolutely cooked. So the front end of this car proving much more difficult than any of the drivers have expected here, and it's now a real sort of race. Well, a race of attrition, I think. I mean, Hachiroku's front left tyre is absolutely smoking. You can see it. You just can't turn in around left-handers, and Hernandez has got back through. Hernandez is less bad, but it's still very, very bad. Barely able to turn the car in. There, look at how wide Hachiroku was going through the final corner. The drivers are going to have to be very, very careful. Twin Cam, another car, struggling now in the battle with Zlatanov. And yeah, Monty McCarry has been overtaken now by Mad Jester. Monty McCarry's tyres are screaming with pain. So a little bit surprising that less than halfway through this race, a large number of drivers are really struggling with front end grip. McElroy not able to drive around the issue at this stage. As now Cried is catching up, and there we go, another piece of evidence that right-handers are tricky. McElroy exits to the left, and Cried is through up to P11. So, depending on how bad this gets, other drivers may be tempted to park in the pit lane during the race at least once. Zlatanov is closer than he was before to the back of Twin Cam as he still tries to find a way past. But it does seem as though all the drivers are having problems with the front end. Unite's doing a decent job. Gutskas has got hot tyres. McElroy leaves the race as well. I thought this was a slam dunk. I thought we'd get a lot of drivers just driving around to the finish, but evidently not. But these are the closest pair on the track right now for position. The battle for P8 overall. And it looks like Zlatanov is able to use his front end to better effect than Twin Cam at the moment, but he is dropping back again, so we'll wait and see. As Hernandez is struggling to get past a back marker. I just saw him make contact in my other view here with Lote as he tried to go around the outside through turn 1, and yeah, there is some horns being exchanged as now Hachiroku gets through under the blue flags. Next will be Thamuli. Check him out on Twitch if you can. There we go, he is through. And seeing as we are over the halfway stage, I should remind our viewers that if you want to, you can compete tonight after this broadcast in a Retro Cup test race, which should hopefully prepare you a little bit better for the Retro Cup event next Monday. So tonight at 1900 UTC, so in around about 40 minutes, you can start the race over on the Retro Cup server. There is going to be a 15-minute qualifying session after this broadcast where you can go pick your car and join in for the Blackwood test race in the Retro Cup. So Retro Cup drivers, get over there, and newcomers to the series, go and find out what it's about and make sure you're on the grid for next Monday's race. Back to the action at hand tonight though, it's Gutskas crossing start finish to begin lap number 19 of 32 in round 10, the final road race in the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship 2025. Unite is now 6.5 seconds back, and Hernandez finds himself on the podium, but with a rapidly closing in Hachiroku and Thamuli, who has absolutely slammed that gap down to almost nothing. Behind him is Lote, the back marker. Roni is some, well, how far is that? That's about 7 seconds further back. So Roni not looking like he's going to affect the top 5 anytime soon. But Thamuli is on pace, and if you can manage that front right tyre, which according to his broadcast, which you can pick up on Twitch, you can see there, well, you can just about make out the bright green dot on the lower left of his screen. The top left green dot is his front left tyre, and it's green, but it's not as bad, nowhere near as bad as some of his competitors. He's managing the tyres well, as you would expect, as he exits the final corner. Yeah, Hachiroku is on the headlights telling Hernandez to hurry up because Thamuli is coming. But this is now the battle for the podium. Hernandez there in the red in P3, defending from Hachiroku and Thamuli, our championship leader. Oh, but that's a big roll. That's a big mistake from Hernandez. He is over. And he is, sorry, not Hernandez, that's Hachiroku. He is out, my mistake. And and that is a big error. The centre of gravity just not low enough for that amount of speed, unfortunately, and Hachiroku is out from a potential podium. Samuli has just had his job made that little bit easier as his competitor in the bright blue, sky blue Sim Racing Polska outfit rolls away into the grass and opens the door for him to potentially make a move for P3. Podium is basically the minimum that Samuli wants from this race. He'd really like to be up there with Legutskas, but he scored an own goal at the start and has had to recover ever since as they head up the corkscrew for the 21st time. 11 laps to go, including this one. And, well, we are going to have a titanic battle, it looks like, for P3. Because I can tell you, Hernandez is not going to give this up very easily, but he might not have much of a choice. His front left tyre is absolutely fried. While that's cooking, in the background we have got Twin Cam, who is closing up to the back of Magic. Twin Cam has cleared Zlatanov. There's about a 1.5 second gap between those two now. There he is in the back of shot. But Magic is the next car up the road for our sole remaining Born to Race driver, as Samuli is now trying to find any way he can past Hernandez up the corkscrew. Risky, considering the lap before he witnessed Hachiroku rolling into the weeds. And the gap opens up again, but there we go. A little bit of dust picking up off the front of Hernandez's car as he struggles to turn around any corner that goes to the right. This corner will be okay. Plenty of grip around there, but the final corner is going to be a struggle once again. And you'll just see, well, you should see, that Samuli can get a better exit. But Hernandez there, not doing a bad job to maintain the gap. Samuli is going to have to work a little bit harder to catch up and close and then get past Hernandez. P3 is going to be a hard battle today. Oh, the car jumps around so much at the top of the corkscrew as the car goes light over the top of the crest and then slams back down. So while that battle rages on, the other battle between Magic and Twin Cam also rages on as Victolo up ahead is having some serious tyre trouble, pulls over to the side of the road to let them through. Twin Cam closing up to Magic on the brakes. Oh, and again at the apex, but Magic with a tighter line opens up the gap. But this is a good fight for P6 in the race. And Twin Cam loses a whole bunch of time through that final sector. And the gap is up to almost a second after that, so not ideal. But as we head under the 10 lap to go marker, it is Legutskas power sliding through the final corner to get a late exit, and Samuli is finally going for a big dive up the inside and is through up into P3. And Hernandez doesn't have anything to say, and I don't think he'll be able to say anything because his tyres are gone. Victolo has been in the wall and is rejoining, but that's been a tough race for him. Left front tyre is going to explode at some point. You can see the smoke coming off it just from driving around. That is on fire, as our race leader will be on him in the not too distant future. 7 laps to go at the end of this one. Gap to the lead is down to just 5 seconds, so actually Unite is slightly starting to gain again as Hernandez goes for a move but is nowhere near fast enough to get that place back. Thamuli tries to cement P3. The hard work is done now. He just has to defend it from a driver. Oh, that is struggling with front end. And, well, you sort of proved my point for me there, Hernandez. That was a bit late on the brakes. You don't have the front end grip for that. Not anymore. As Victolo retires, and we're down to just 12 drivers from more than 20 that started this race. Did not expect to say that, but clearly a bigger challenge than I gave it credit. So fair play to the rest of the field for muscling round what appears to have been quite a difficult car to race in these conditions, as Hernandez is going to go for the same move that he went for on the previous lap, and he's not giving up here. Thamuli's going to do the switchback, and he'll have the corner again. But Hernandez is far, far further alongside than he was before, and this is not going to be easy for Thamuli. In fact, Hernandez, fair play to him, gets ahead once again and is in the right position to defend this onto lap 27. Very nice move. Fair play. Thamuli, you're going to have to work for this, buddy, because Hernandez wants P3. Well, game on. Meanwhile, further back, Magic and Twincam have, well, the gap between them has opened up, so I don't see a move happening there anytime soon. This is the closest battle on the track for position, and it is for the podium, and it involves our current championship leader, Thamuli, who would quite like to take P3 and the points associated with it, but he's got to get past a motivated Hernandez, who, with every defensive move and every early acceleration out of corners, is putting even more energy through that front right tyre. Sorry, front left tyre. And it's just not looking too good for him. Can Thamuli do it in the last 5 laps as they head on to lap 28 now? Wow, the car gets so sideways on the brakes down the hill. I mean, you need the rear end. Clearly the front's not doing too much. The steering wheel might rotate the wheels slightly, but the front wheels do not want to turn on this car, evidently. As Hernandez again takes that tighter line through the double right-hander there, and Thamuli has no response. The gap goes up again. If you're just joining, you're in the last 5, well, in fact 4 laps now as our leaders cross over start-finish. 4 laps of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. We are on the last road race of the series. Next time out, it's another rally-inspired dirt event. And we finished the year in December with a race on slicks. And all 3 of those races are going to be at Aston, as Hernandez has opened up a 0.3 of a second gap onto this lap. So he is really motoring now. Fair play to him. He got overtaken, was able to refocus and find the pace with a objectively worse car, with that front end being in the state that it's in, and he's opened up the gap. Rudy's going to have to dig deep, as Twincam in P7 is getting closer to Magic, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Got to find quite a bit of time to. He's been closer, let's put it that way, and he's got to do something special to overtake Magic now. Magic is looking good in P6, as Thamuli is going to go for a move here. He has to go for a move. He's running out of opportunities. A puff of smoke off the front axle of Hernandez. Hernandez goes wide. I think it was a lock-up for Thamuli there. And Hernandez keeps the position. This is unbelievable. If you can see what I'm looking at on Hernandez's car, you would be as surprised as I am. You can see from Thamuli's onboard that his front tyres are in a somewhat healthy condition. Hernandez's are not, but somehow he's holding on. Themuli has but 2 chances left to make this happen. They are going to drive around the next corner twice more after this, and that is it, as Themuli returns the favour that Hernandez gave him earlier. A shove to the rear on the brakes into the final corner. And now another slipstream opportunity down over start-finish. But is it going to be enough? What are we going to see here as the race draws to a close? Themuli taking an alternative line through the first corner, but doesn't have the drive off the corner that he needs. Just carried a little bit too much speed, compromised his own line. Oh, the car really wants to get up on 2 wheels. Themuli again with the wide line into the double right. It doesn't work. The front end of this car does not grip up enough. And you've got to do the tighter line that Hernandez has proven works. It's where he overtook you twice, Themuli. And it's just not happening. 2 more chances. Here comes the first. Into the final corner. Themuli has to use that tighter line through the double right. He's losing all of his time there. Let's see what he can do with the 2 opportunities he's got left. Well, in fact, the last opportunity he's got as we head on to the final lap. Our leaders are already halfway around the lap. We're going to have to cut away. Let's see if Themuli can do it on the final lap. But into the final sector comes your race leader, already doing some flourishes. Getting the rear out for the fans. As up to the final corner comes Yes Motorsports Vytautas Lagutskas, going under the pseudonym of Laguga. Themuli's back through, folks. He's managed to do it at the double right. But Lagutskas comes across the start-finish line to win round 10 of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. Unite comes across the line in P2. And Themuli has just done enough to exit the final corner. Took a very strange line out of the corner. And takes P3. And it's not over yet. We've got a battle with Twin Cam and Zlatanov into the final corner. Twin Cam in the orange, Zlatanov in the yellow. Oh, sorry. Twin Cam against Magic is also close. Magic across the line in P6. Themuli P7. Zlatanov will take P8. Manchester will take P9. So some good fights in a race otherwise fraught with tyre trouble. Pride will finish in P10. Redbot is classified 11th, and Lote is classified in P12. Well, what an event it was, and well, let's have a look then, shall we, at the full race results. It is Lagutskas who wins in 31 minutes and 12 seconds ahead of Unite, Themuli and Hernandez, your top 4. Hernandez holding on for a very long time, getting overtaken and then repassing Themuli, only to be had on the final lap. He'd done such a good job, but Themuli had saved his tyres just enough to overpower him in the end to take that final step on the podium. Then we have Roni in P5 with Magic, Twin Cam, Zlatanov, Majesta and Cried, your top 10. Your final 2 finishers were Redbot and Lote. However, it does appear that we have quite a number of DNFs. Victolo, Hachiroku, Motomikari, Hollander, Sufor, Skyafer and Acosta are your, 7 DNFs in that race from 21 qualifiers. Lagutskas posted the fastest lap of 57.8 to make him take away that honour for tonight's event. Themuli won't take home the full complement of points for tonight's round, but he will extend his lead at the front of the championship tonight as we head into the next round. And in the background there you can see your Zafiralis All Rounder Championship podium. In the middle we have, of course, Lagutskas. To his left it's Themuli, and Unite on his right there in P2. So thanks to our drivers once again for putting on a fantastic show as ever, and thanks to the organisers, of course, Zafiralis, for putting on the event as well. let's head to the schedule and see what is going on in the rest of this year's championship. We've got a dirt round, as I mentioned, in a month's time on November 3rd, followed by the season finale with slicks on December 1st. Just 2 rounds to go in this championship before the end of the season. And before everybody disappears for tonight's action, I must remind you, of course, that in just a few moments' time, we're going to all be heading over to the Retro Cup server for the test race for next week's action. All the details of that can be found on the Live for Speed forum. But yeah, if you want to head over to there and join in with the test race, you can do. The race begins at 1900 UTC, and there is a qualifying session beginning in around about 9 minutes' time. So hopefully we'll see you over there. That's pretty much everything we've got time for here on Sim Broadcasts tonight. Thank you very much for joining us for more action from Live for Speed. You can join us tomorrow night, of course, for RTFR XL. That is going to be with the Formula V8 at Aston National, as far as I'm aware, which is going to be a brilliant one. So please join us for that. Same time, same place, 7 o'clock on Sim Broadcasts, Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, that's all from us here tonight. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.